We back?
We back.
Let me just go ahead and stretch out the old muscles
Oh,
because
boy.
this is always a big one right here. So that then I can reach out my arms to the heavens and say,
Why?
it's episode 224 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture, and I am your host, Brian Barnett. What the hell's going on?
I'm Joshua Mobley. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, what is going on? I'm Chris Shriver.
Well, what's going on is it's a show.
Yep,
And
we're here.
And just by watching or listening, you've become a part of it. So
Yep.
Strap in.
Wowie.
Strap in. Here we go.
I've got a vodka and Coke. I've got a tall glass of water.
I've got a water. And that's about it.
And Audrey is upstairs making teriyaki salmon.
Ooh.
So
I'm going to be eating leftover corned beef tonight because I don't want to cook after the show.
I've been eating oatmeal like it's
Nice.
my damn job because that's all I can keep down.
Yeah, Audrey's making teriyaki bowls a la Whole Foods. So we've got cauliflower rice, we've got sliced up bell peppers, and then we've got teriyaki salmon that we're gonna shove in there. It's gonna be great.
Sounds really good.
It's really, really good.
Nice.
But yeah, so what's going on, guys?
Nothing much.
Sorry,
it was a very light video game week last week.
Yeah, I've been slowly losing my mind in the lands between.
Yeah.
I draw ever closer to the ending. But I'm also...
Oh, you haven't actually beaten the game yet.
I have not beaten the game yet. There's a very good reason for that. It is because I have been working on a big commerce project, which is taking up a lot of my time. Like half of my day, basically, half of every workday, at least. And then I've also been going back and finding like a bunch of stuff that I hadn't picked up for various guides and stuff, like where to get bell bearings and things like this. So I'm like revisiting Caelid and Liurnia and Limgrave and all the areas in the game.
Sure.
So right now I'm in the Royal Capital. I'm in Lanedale, which is really, really fun. This is the there are a few parts in Elden Ring, and we'll get into kind of my general thoughts as of, like, where I am right now, because I had a realization either earlier today or yesterday. But there are specific areas in Elden Ring where this game really evokes the mastery of space and like kind of, oh my god, I'm back here, of like Dark Souls 1. In a way that like almost no other entry in the series ever does. There are like a couple of moments like that in like Dark Souls 3, but most of them are in Dark Souls 1. And the way that they do that in this game is like, it's really awesome. Like they do it in Stormvale Castle, which is like the first legacy dungeon that you go to. And what I'm doing right now is, I guess, kind of the third one. I guess. The order is so weird because you can totally sequence break the absolute hell out of this game. But it's amazing. Like I literally had a moment where I read a note that somebody had left on the ground, and it was like, shortcut ahead. And I was like, shortcut to where? And I like went up this lift and I opened a gate, and it was a gate that I had unlocked like maybe 12 hours earlier. Like it was just, oh, this is a shortcut from extremely late in this area to like the first site of grace that I found. Super, super cool. I love it. But yeah, I think I'm like 127 hours in. Something like that. But keep in mind, like I've been doing grinding. I've been like exploring on my own.
Sure.
I've been like doubling back to like try to find secrets and things. I'm a level 132, I think, somewhere in there.
So you're just gonna smash the boss, the final boss.
I don't know.
That's actually what I was going to ask, is what is the level cap, or is there one? Isn't there one?
I think the level cap is like 700 something.
Wow.
But like it's the cost to level. You're not the vast majority of people will not hit the level cap. One, because unless you go into like New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus or Plus 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 or however far it goes. I don't know how far it goes. Usually New Game Plus 7 is as far as you can go, but I think I saw somebody say that they were in like New Game Plus 49 or something.
What?
So you might just be able to just keep going. Speedrunners and stuff.
Yeah.
But like when you get into higher New Game Plus, like the enemies are harder, but they're also worth more when you kill them. So like the inflation that your stats get, like the first level that you level up, you only need like 600 runes to level up. But then by the time you get to like 80s, 90s, stuff like that, like it takes like 100,000 or something, 10,000, 100,000 to level up. And so it's not really your ability. It's just how many runes it takes for you to level up. That's kind of the thing that's barring you.
Yeah.
So it's like that. But I'll still play for like maybe an hour or an hour and a half or something like that. And like, I'll almost get enough to level up again. And that's like without doing anything special. But yeah, there's some talk around whether the like PvP meta will be around level 125, which is what it has been for many of the previous games, or whether it'll actually go higher to like 150. So like I'm roundabout in the area that people are like, this is kind of where you should be for like we're all gonna get together and fight and make our builds and that sort of a thing. But because I'm primarily concerned with single player stuff, I don't really care about that. I'm not huge into PvP, although this patch did fix a lot of like the griefing PvP type stuff. Like there was like a couple of builds that were extremely powerful that people would just like wreck you incredibly quickly, which like wasn't fun, and a lot of people were concerned about like that the PvP scene was going to be bad in this game, but then they fixed that, so it should be good. And the build variety in this game is very, very high, which is probably my biggest criticism of Bloodborne. And I guess Dark Souls 3 to a lesser extent. But I mean, given the amount of freedom that you have when you're wandering around the open world, the amount of build variety that you have, like I've found so many cool weapons that I'm like, well, I can't use this, but I want to try it at some point. Like there are like entire mechanics that like I just haven't, or like status effects that I just haven't done anything with, like sleep. Like there's a sword that I found that puts people to sleep when you hit them with it, and I'm just like, this. I mean, seems...
any sword will do that if you hit them hard enough.
If you hit them hard enough. That's like that bit. What is it, like Funny or Die, the Batman bit?
Yeah.
He's like, I'll put him to sleep. And there's like a ninja star sticking out of the guy's eye. He's like, what do you think? What do you think you're doing? You're murdering these people. No, I don't kill. I never kill. I only put people to sleep. I just knocked them out. That's pretty good. But yeah, with all the freedom, all the build variety, and some of the most fun bosses and most fun like repeating tough enemies like that are just around the world, I will tell you, if I replay a Souls game in the future, it's going to be really hard for it to not just be this one over all the others.
It'll be interesting to see, like I imagine you someone else will too, like go back and play Sekiro or, you know, insert Souls game here, and is that experience now going to be like completely tarnished because of this game? Like,
oh, beautiful choice of words, my friend. Beautiful choice of words. Yeah. Aside from the problem with that, like I think so. Like I think it's gonna be so difficult for me to go back. Because like previously, my favorite was I think probably Dark Souls 3. And while there are still fights in Dark Souls 3 that like I haven't really felt anything like in this game. Like there's no Abyss Watchers in this game. Like the Abyss Watchers are probably my favorite fight in Dark Souls 3, or Udex Gundyr, or I don't know. Like there are a couple like really awesome fights that I just absolutely adore in Dark Souls 3. And there hasn't been one like that, like Crystal Sage. Like there's I haven't fought anyone like the Crystal Sage in this game.
Yeah.
So like I feel like if we're strictly talking about like boss encounters, there are some things that are done in other games in this series that I might just be like, man, I just really want to do like this fight. Like I kind of missed this fight, but the freedom that you have to explore, and I guess it would be like if I was wanting something like in Uncharted, if I was wanting to like just play through a linear experience, maybe. But the amount that you can poke at the seams of this world, and you know, I forget, I think it was Josh who was saying, like, oh, I'm just gonna Skyrim up this hill. I'm just gonna Skyrim up this mountain real quick.
I think that was me, but
somebody who was like, yeah, I'm just going to jump backwards over this and just get over into a place I'm not supposed to be. There's so much of that in this game that, like, it's really hard for me to imagine it being more intriguing to go back and revisit those older games instead of just, let me try to just play this game and just do Caelid first. Let me try to do this game and like skip the first two major areas and just head for the end game right away. Like speed runs are already around like a half hour. Like
from scratch or from like New Game Plus?
That I don't know because I haven't actually watched them.
Mm-hmm.
But there are several that are like an hour and a half, 50 minutes, a half hour. What I wanted to do was I wanted to look at what is an any percent speed run glitchless, because I know that some people are doing like incorrect teleportation glitches where like you save on a particular place, and this was in Demon Souls as well, and in the Demon Souls PS5 remake, where like there's in 1.1 in Demon Souls there's a fire, and if you like save out, like if you save while you're standing on the fire and it's taking away your health, like, and you load back in, it puts you like in 1-3 right before the final boss or something like that. Like it's like really weird. Like you can do weird stuff like that where like the game remembers your location incorrectly, and that like lets you get to a place way later. So I don't know if people are doing that or they're just like, yo, I'm gonna grab Torrent and just run past everyone and just get to the capital and then beyond or something. I don't know, but the idea of there's so little that you have to do in this game. It's like pretty impressive, but there's so much that you can do. So I don't know, man. There's a unless this game totally craps the bed in the last like however much I have left, it's gonna be really hard for this not to be my favorite. Even if I still think that like the story of Bloodborne is better, or you know, certain boss fights in Dark Souls 3 or something are more fun for me.
Yeah.
I think as an overall package, it just like Elden Ring just cannot be denied. It's pretty ridiculous, actually.
Cannot be denied.
And like you guys know, like I was, I guess, kind of looking forward to this game, but like I wasn't hyped for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you weren't talking about it the way the rest of the internet was.
No.
Yeah.
It was like, sorry, my cold. It was definitely an excitement because it was like, all right, cool, a new FromSoft game. I wonder what this is going to be like. But and I don't think it was a matter of you like not foreseeing how big of a deal this game was going to be or anything like that. I think you were just like, I mean, Demon Souls had only come out a year ago, like the remake.
Yeah.
And it's not like,
I mean, I don't think anyone realized how big this was going to be.
No, and I don't think anybody realized like the openness of, at least what I've heard, obviously I haven't played it, the openness of it.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It is actually insane. I just did this like the other day. I created a new character. You can literally bypass, like everybody's like, oh, I can't get past Margit. You can just run around. You can literally run around the castle and just not do it.
That was one of the big takeaways from the Girlfriend review that that had me intrigued, was that, you know, Shelby doesn't, obviously she's not that experienced of a gamer, and yet she's like got however many hours into it. And me hating being in Demon Souls and being in Bloodborne and being in a hallway with me and this one other guy, and it's like, well, you have to figure it out. Like, there's no way around it. Whereas this is like, you know what? I'm going to come back to this later. Like, that is much more interesting to me than, like, figure it out or get fucked, is basically what that other formula is.
It's so, like,
what a phrase.
Like, I keep comparing it to Breath of the Wild for really good reason, because like there are mini dungeons all over, and they're a lot like the shrines in Zelda, where it's like you get to the end and then you fight a boss and you get something cool. Like, I went to within like 10 minutes, you can go and get like a really amazing weapon and like teleport yourself across the map to like some crazy area where you can kill enemies that are like hard, but they give you 10 times, 20 times the amount of runes that you get for other enemies. And you can just be like, all right, I'm going to freaking chill out here for a while and just farm up and buff up. Like, you can just do it.
Yeah.
And like, if you can kill, there are enemies that are out there that are like really, really powerful, but if you can kill them, then you can get like really sweet stuff that like really tilts things in your favor. And the game is so generous with items. Like, it's so generous with weapons. I have so many weapons. I like all kinds of weapons. I got knives that make you bleed. I've got a shield that when people hit you with it, it poisons them. Like, there's so much bonkers stuff in this game. Like, I love it. I love it. And there's so much, this game is just weird. It's goofy. It's goofy and weird and super fun. And if you want to just fight a bunch of easy soldiers and get some new equipment from them and farm some runes from them, and then, you know, level up and then take on something that's tougher, you can do that. You can explore the whole world and just take out all the low-level chumps before you even set foot in a dungeon where like there's going to be, you know, stronger enemies. Like, it's that, the ability to do that just makes this so, like, some of the stuff that I've heard about the later bosses like kind of gives me pause in saying this because I haven't fought them yet. But like, there's a degree to which I kind of get what Miyazaki was saying when he's like, yeah, I think more people will finish this than other games. Because like there's just a lot of little things.
Well, and you can approach it your own way. Like, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And it gives you the opportunity to get that edge. Otherwise, like, you know, you just wouldn't. You get pissed off and turn it off.
Yeah, you get frustrated.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, I didn't know how to get the summoning bell, you know, and like that's a fairly easy thing to miss. But like, there's another way to get one later and stuff like that. But like, once you get like the ash summons and you figure out, like, you do the things that you need to do to get the person that can upgrade your summons for you. Like, once you start upgrading your summons, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, I literally just, I had like 80,000 runes on me and stumbled accidentally into a boss fight. And I was like, all right, summon, go out, do your stuff. And I'm a sorcerer now. I used to be a faith spellcaster, so I'd be throwing lightning bolts and stuff, but now I'm a sorcery boy. And so I was just, I called my summon. The summon distracted the boss, and I just stood back and like cast a bunch of really hard hitting spells. And then when they got to me, they're like, get off me, man. Stop casting those spells. Then I just like dodged out of the way, smacked him a few times, backed off. My summon like took attention back, and then I knocked him out. It was easy. Like, it's It's so good. Like, why is this game so good? And I happened on a moment, like it just. I've talked several times about this being kind of a greatest hits of FromSoft. I found another thing. One of my favorite things that Bloodborne did, Elden Ring just did. And I'm trying to figure out what it means. And it's like, it's so cool. Like almost all the stuff that I would want to do in those other games is just in this game. So I could just play this one. So I don't know. It's people out there like Joshua Yell, just finished it and said, this is easily the greatest game I've ever played. I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. Cause I don't think he was into Souls games.
I don't know.
But like, there are a lot of people out there for whom this is like the game. Like this is like Skyrim level, like GTA 5 level. Holy shit. This is the best game I've ever played.
I'll be more interested to see what if people say a couple years from now, if they still think that.
Let me ask you this, and this is kind of a good segue-ish.
Sure.
I have been playing Horizon Forbidden West here and there, and the first 5 to 6 hours, probably like 5 or 6 hours, I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to play this type of game anymore. I don't want to play the open world game with 1,000 fetch quests and a story that is like, I'm trying to convince myself is interesting, but it's really not. And the voice acting's not that great, but it looks really good. And like I turned that game on and I'm finding this with more and more games lately. And I don't know if it could be a number of things. It could be that I've been playing so much like over the last 2 or 3 years. It could be that, you know, that thing we always talk about where it's like, I know what I like and I know what I don't. And I'm not going to waste my time. Or it could be that I just need to find another hobby outside of just playing video games and watching movies.
Maybe.
And more recently trying to work out and eat better. But
that's a good hobby to have.
It's a good hobby to have.
Yeah,
right?
eating better is a good hobby.
It's a good hobby, yeah. But every time I turn this game on, I'm just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And I audibly groan. Horizon. I audibly groan when I run around that game in that world, because while I want to level up and I want to have the experience points to be able to do whatever missions, you know, I encounter, because like that game is very similar in that, you know, you can, and I've done it, you can stumble upon an area where you will get a mission in your quest log, and let's say I'm at level 8 and the mission is for someone recommended at level 22. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a shot anyway. And I get my ass whooped. There's like absolutely no snowball's chance in hell that I'm going to be able to do whatever it is that this thing is asking me to do. With Elden Ring, would you say that it's more like what, I guess, what is the hook to combat that? Because with Horizon, it's like that happens and I'm just like, I guess I'll just keep wandering. Like, I don't know. I know where I can go. I can follow the main story beats and I can go to those places. But, like, it's not even a world that I give a shit about. Which is, like,
Why'd you buy it?
I thought I would. Because, like, the first
you
few...
thought it would get you.
The first few hours of the first Horizon is, like, some of the... that game has, like, one of the best intros of any video game I've ever played. Period. Where... like you're learning about, it's like it's like post-apocalyptic, but like humanity is like kind of reborn and they're trying to make out like what it is that happened with the machines, and
was kind of curious
what's behind this.
How they were gonna keep the intrigue up for the sequel once you actually know what happened.
Right now it's really just like the threat of humanity. Like that is the push. The push is like,
yeah, I guess I just feel like they already played that card. So.
Right, that's what I mean. Like Silas is like doing his business. Like you gotta stop him. He's in the Forbidden West. And like the first 5 hours of that game are Aloy telling everyone she talks to that I don't have time to fucking talk to you right now. I need to go to the Forbidden West. And
It's Destiny. I don't have time to tell you why I don't
dude, I'm telling you, it's worse. Like it's
Wow.
literally every conversation has to have at least like a 4 or 5 sentence exchange where it's like, I can't really do that right now. Well, maybe I can. And then it adds it to your mission log. And it's like, what are we doing?
I'll do it.
Yeah, I guess I'll do it for you if I have time.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you straight up, Elden Ring does not have quest logs.
Okay.
So
I didn't think it would.
No, just throw that right out of your head.
Okay.
Because those don't exist.
Yeah.
There's no recommended level this, recommended level that. There's just, can you do it? No? Okay, leave and do something else and then come back when you want to.
Suck.
But like, there's
Come back when you get better.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like I've straight up like, there are things that you shouldn't be able to do, but because you can do your Ash summons or call your friends to help you, like you can do it.
Yeah.
Like there is a degree to which, I mean, a very high degree to which strategizing and playing well can like basically obliterate any like level requirement or whatever that you would have.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like there are people who are going to be a little bit bullet spongy or whatever because they're way higher than you, but like nothing's impossible in this game. Like if you're level 1 and you get like a good weapon or whatever and put a good cool talisman on, like you can kill somebody if you like, you can go at level 1 because that's a thing in these games. Like I beat Dark Souls 3 at level 1. Like you can do it. Like you just have to like, okay, this is the attack. Okay, I'm going to dodge this attack and this sort of thing, like.
And you probably can do that in Horizon. It's very possible. I'm just very bad at that game. Like,
but there are some games where like, that's not what they want you to do. Like they want it to take, if you did it would be like 7 hours. Yeah. Like
and
it's practically impossible.
That's the point I'm making. Like with Horizon, it's like, sure, I could fight this hippopotamus for an hour and a half if I felt like it and I had enough resources, but I don't, and I don't have the time nor the patience to do it. Like
that's not a thing in Elden Ring.
Like how does that work in Elden Ring then? If I encounter an enemy that is like so far beyond what I'm supposed to be doing, like but I'm, let's say I have the wherewithal to know how to approach that situation, like how long could it potentially take you to fight someone? What's the longest you've ever fought someone, I guess, is a simpler question.
Maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
That's it?
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, but like, I mean, we fought things in Destiny for much longer.
Well, yeah, I mean, through wipes and things, but yeah, I guess you're right. Like vanilla D1, there were some boss battles that were
like Valhalla Auric, like
yeah,
they were
infamous.
Like I think, like Godric, the first like legacy, the first shard bearer that you're probably gonna fight. Like he took me a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Well, like a good thing that this game does is that like if you lose, a lot of times they respawn you very close. Like the first shard bearer that you fight, Godric, the one that I was talking about, there's a save point literally right outside his room.
They kind of have to, right? Because it would be super frustrating. Well, I know, but it would be.
Previous games did that.
No, but it would be super frustrating in an open world game, right? Because just.
I mean, a lot of people found it very frustrating in the other games that you had to do.
I also find that frustrating, but I feel like it's even more, it's like exacerbated because it's open world. I don't know. And like, but I don't know. I haven't played the game, so I can't really
I will straight up tell you, does Horizon have co-op?
No.
Okay. I will straight up tell you, Elden Ring is going to be better for that reason alone.
Yeah.
But even before you can go elsewhere and like find a new weapon or because like there are areas where you can go and be like, all right, I'm gonna get upgrade materials, and you get enough that like you can try a weapon, upgrade it a few times, see if it's your thing, and then like switch to something else. And if you want, like, and you can add like your Ashes of War, which are like your weapon arts and stuff. And you can swap those out like on the fly.
Let me ask you this: inventory. How much shuffling are you doing in this game? Like, does it get to a point where it's like you're carrying too much shit?
How much of that truffle shuffle?
Yeah, like
you can carry an infinite amount of things.
I'm buying this game when I get back from New Orleans. That's it. Like that's
Like I think I literally have like over 100 weapons on me right now.
That's my biggest problem. That's always been my biggest problem with Fallout and Skyrim.
Yeah, it's a problem with Demon Souls too.
Yeah, Demon Souls, like it.
Demon Souls had carry weight. They got rid of that pretty early.
Okay.
In the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't have to store stuff. Like you can carry everything, like every item in the game in Dark Souls 3. And I think maybe Dark Souls 1. You might have to do storage stuff in Dark Souls 1. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But in this game, no. I'm like, oh, I want to, like, I'm literally just out in this dungeon. I get to the boss. I'm like, this boss does not like blunt weapons. Let me roll in through. Oh, a spiked mace. Let's try that out. Boom. Like freaking smack. Like it's great. And you can trade stuff to other people.
That's cool.
So like if you have a dope weapon, like if you want like a sick weapon, like I can like upgrade one for you and like drop it.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Just like give you some cool stuff.
That's cool.
And like you can like a cool thing is like if you're teamed up with like a paladin or a priest or something like that, somebody who has like faith spells, like they can straight up heal you.
Yeah.
Like so you can set up like something like what we would have in like a strike team in Destiny.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun, man. Like it's really good. So
the only thing that
I'm having an absolute blast with it. So I would happily replay it and co-op 100% of the game with you if you want.
Yeah. The only thing that may keep me from it immediately when I get back, Kirby and the Forgotten Land comes out this Friday. And I'm very excited for that game.
Yeah, it's fun. I played the demo. It's pretty fun.
There's a very good possibility though that I'm gonna buy that, and Jess is gonna be like, "Ooh, shiny new Switch game," and then I'm not gonna be able to play it because she does that. She did that with Pokemon. She did it with Animal Crossing. She just like kidnaps the Switch, and then that's it. And I'm like, do I really want to own 2 copies of this game? No. Yeah.
If you got Elden Ring, where would you get it? PC?
Probably PS5. Isn't that where everybody? I feel like that's like James and all them have it there. You have
that's
it
where
there.
most people are playing it. Yeah,
that's probably where I'd end up.
That's where most people are playing it.
I can't keep. I don't know. You know how I am with playing on PC.
Yeah.
If I had my Steam Deck, it'd probably be a different story though.
Yeah. Apparently, Valve did some optimization and it runs very well on Steam Deck.
I read that as well.
I mean.
Apparently, I'm not getting mine until June, though. I have calculator check.
I have the game on both, but I'm trying to play as much as possible on PC.
Yeah.
I'm on PS5 for work, but like the DualSense is just shredding my hands.
Yeah.
The controller sucks.
There's only one good controller, and it's the 8-bit dough.
SM30 you can't use that with the PS5.
I know.
But yeah. But yeah, Kirby looks good.
Kirby looks very good. There she is.
It won't get me to pick up my Switch. It's time.
Smoochy boochy time. We're talking about Kirby.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I said you're gonna kidnap the Switch.
Correct.
Yeah.
There it is.
Co-op, and then I'm just gonna play it without you.
Yes. You're like, oh, you have to work IGN? Okay, well, let me
I'm gonna play Kirby for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Let me just
do this for 8 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, the Arc Revo finals happened for Guilty Gear, and we got some cool announcements. The final character in season 1 is gonna be Testament, who was last in I think Accent Core XX plus R, which I played a bunch of on PSP.
What a title!
It was also a PS2 game. But a lot of people are very excited about that. Testament now non-binary, and their 2 little helpers have the combined colors of the trans flag, which I thought was a cool touch.
That's cool.
But yeah, So they're coming, which I'm pretty excited about because they look a lot like the character that I play, except with more mix-up, which I always love being able to mix people up. They've got like a teleport that like can cross people up and stuff. But they also announced, and is this the thing that you said? Chris actually messaged me before the event, is like, you're gonna like this.
No, I knew about Testament.
Okay, so that was the thing. Okay,
that was what I knew. Yeah.
Yeah, they also announced, and this is the thing that I was really amped about, is that PlayStation and PC is getting crossplay on Guilty Gear, which I'm extremely excited about because there are a lot of people who like to play on PlayStation. PlayStation is tournament standard, but now all the people who want to have the least amount of input lag possible, i.e., basically my entire fighting game friend group, apart from like one or two people who play on PC, now we can all play together, which is awesome. So I'm really, really excited about that. That's going to make it way easier for people to find matches and stuff like that. Although it's not super difficult to find matches in the game because it's still like very popular.
Just in time for Persona 4 Ultimax to re-release on Steam, PlayStation, and the Nintendo
Which
Switch.
I've been playing.
How is it? I mean, I'm sure it's the same game.
You guys, it's so good. You know, like man, how long was I saying bring it to PC, bring it to modern consoles?
I mean, how long have I known you?
A while.
Yeah, how long have I known you?
Yeah. And man, let me tell you, I was actually playing some with a friend of the show, Ronnie Barrier, who I may actually have on next week's episode to talk about it in like our kind of co-review because I want to have a lot more time with it with the new version. And the rollback netcode update isn't even in the game yet. That's coming in the summer. I don't actually know exactly when it's happening, but we've been playing that a little bit. We've played like a couple of sessions together. And he was on his laptop on Wi-Fi, and the connection still felt really good. So I'm incredibly impressed with this. BlazBlue Central Fiction recently got a rollback patch, and that felt very good. But let me tell you, after playing Persona 4 Arena Ultimax again, I don't think I'm ever going to play BlazBlue again because between Dragon Ball and Guilty Gear Strive and Persona 4 Arena, like I am set on fighting games. It's so good. I've been having so much fun. I've been playing Yuna Okami, who's the protagonist of Persona 4. I've been playing as Yosuke Hanamura, who's like his best friend from Persona 4. And I've also been playing as Yukari Takeba, who was the best girl from Persona 3, who was my girlfriend. And she's basically like the Pink Ranger. Like she's got a bow, and she's a zoner. And she's very, very fun. But those are the characters I've been playing. Ronnie's been playing as Akihiko Sanada, who's like the boxer from Persona 3. It's so much fun. And I can't tell you how good it is to have this game back and not stranded on PS3. Like
I don't know where
feels
I'll
good.
buy it if I do. That'll be one, I'll throw it on wish lists, and because realistically, yeah, that's one I would just like
get it on PC if you do.
Yeah, that's one I would like pop in and out of every now and then,
Yeah.
but like I wouldn't really like dedicate my life to,
Yeah.
It's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And the story mode is like interesting. Like there's an expansive story mode and a bunch of different options if you want to like go into mission mode where you can like learn specific stuff, go into training mode and all that sort of stuff. Yes, it's really, really good. I actually wasn't really planning on talking about that this week. But yeah, like I recommend it.
Nice.
So,
Sick, bro.
catch the fever once again. Oh man. So Josh, I gotta be honest with you.
Mhm.
I feel a need, a burning need deep within me.
They make cream for that.
Yeah.
I need to kill chaos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just there's something that just tells me that it needs to happen. Can you talk to me about this? Like, is it,
Yeah.
am I alone in this?
No. many people wake up at night wondering if they too can kill chaos, and let me tell you, you can. So I'm gonna guess that was your segue to Stranger of Paradise. Yeah. You know what's funny though is like I don't know how Brian would actually feel about this game, but
I imagine I would feel very unfavorable towards this game.
This is the type of game that, like, I feel like if we were all in high school and, like, Josh had this game and was like, guys, you gotta come over, we gotta play it. Like, I would, like, be like, all right, like, this seems kind of fun. I'm not my cup of tea, but I get it. And then Brian, the whole
we
time...
can hang out.
Yeah, we can hang out. Like, the whole time Brian would be there, he'd just be like, this game fucking sucks. It's just, like, dunking on it the whole time.
Here's the thing, like, I think a lot of the marketing around it made it seem like a Souls game, and I'm here to tell you, it's not.
I think
it's
one
not at all.
descriptor I heard is like, it's bad Elden Ring.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's bad. I think if you're a Souls fan, if you're Brian and you have a choice, there's a clear choice here, right?
A From Software game that is maybe the most ambitious and most highly revered and rated of all of their entries, or a game where some freaking Chad bro talks about wanting to kill chaos constantly.
Oh, they talk about a lot more stuff than that, and it's hilarious.
I've heard the writing is like bafflingly bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's okay. I need to back up because I need to start back from where I am on this game. But it's not a Souls game. Like, it has the trappings of one, like, oh, it has the little save points, and oh, it's got, you hit R1 to hit people, right? It's like Souls light, but it's even even lighter than that. Like, it's only like a Souls light in that just some of the things are vaguely like control very much like a Souls game, in the same way that like Halo and Doom are shooters, if that makes sense. But they're like, they couldn't be they couldn't be further from.
Okay.
They're very different. Is what I'm trying to say. This game is a lot more.
They're in the same ballpark, but they're on opposite corners of the ballpark.
Sure. I would compare it more to like Diablo. Like,
Diablo,
what if you like playing? You're basically playing a game that's like vaguely kind of Souls-like, but it's easier-ish, and a lot more forgiving. But also, it's just like you get tons of loot, you level up passively, and you kind of just hit stuff. Like, it doesn't have a lot of that like, oh man, I've got all this experience, I gotta like lug back to, a campfire or something. It doesn't do any of that. It's like, hey, you're playing as a samurai and you leveled up and you're like, sick, bro, and you just literally go into your menu and get, the nodes and all that. It's very action RPG in that way, but it just happens to have like some of the trappings of a Souls game. But I wouldn't call it a Souls game. I would straight up just call this like a hack and slash RPG. First and foremost, like you said, Brian, the writing is bad, but it's not like bad in an offensive way.
I've heard it's bad in like a very funny way.
It's very funny. Like my friends who I'm playing it with we're actually like cracking up at some of the dialogue and things that are happening, because this is okay. I think Polygon said it best. They said this is like the best dumb game in a long time. And I think that is 100% true. This game is dumb as hell, but it is pretty fun.
It's like what it reminds me of is, although I haven't played it, it reminds me of all the stuff that I've seen from like Resident Evil 1. Of like, hey, you're the master of unlocking. You're a Jill sandwich.
Yeah. But
it seems like it knows what it is, and like it
seems like it. My friends and I were like, I wonder if in Japanese this is all played straight. And they just like, when they translated it, we're just like, let's just make this really stupid, because it's
like
pretty
the local
stupid.
Is like trolls of the highest order.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I can't tell if someone was being serious when they wrote these lines of dialogue, because they're just so silly and dumb. my favorite moment that had me cracking up was you and like all the people in your party come to, because there's more party members outside of the three dudes. I guess I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. I don't know if people freaking care, but there's more.
I do not care. I can't.
There
Josh,
are other characters.
I cannot tell you the degree to which I don't care.
Hey, you brought it up. That there are other characters, but
no. I mean, like, like spoilers. Like, I could not care less about anything that you could tell me. You could literally tell me how it ends, and I would not care.
I don't know because I haven't beaten it yet. But like, this moment stands out to me because like we got to a new like city, I guess, or like region, and so we're in this city that basically looked like Bloodborne before the collapse, and like we're walking and just talking about, you know, what's dumb random JRPG shit like our crystals and or whatever, right? This kid like throws a rock.
Crystals,
This kid like throws a rock at the main character, which is already really funny. Like just the rock hitting him was just great. And then you start having a conversation with this kid and you find out that like his dad's dead. No, that would be even better. But like you find out like his dad died, and you're like, oh, that's kind of sad. All of the characters.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
It's because it is what it is. All the characters are like, oh, I'm so sorry or whatever. Jack, who's the main character who looks like a shoe got turned into a man, just stands there, and then one of the characters goes, Jack, say something. And after a moment of silence, he just goes, where's the mayor? And I fucking lost it because he had nothing else to say. But then it got even better because once he asked where the mayor was, the kid just said, oh, he's dead too, which was like the best response. The writing in this game is not good, but
he died around the same time as your father.
He died around the same
time.
You
knew my father? I told you to drop it.
We're not talking about that right now. But yeah, the writing is laughably bad, and I honestly would not.
Him picking up the kid by the lapels and like pulling him up off the ground into his face, and he's like, "Where is chaos?
Where is chaos?" Yeah, the writing's not good. The voice acting also not great. Some of the characters.
If you've seen any of the little clips that people have been promoting, it's so bad. It's so bad. Why is it so bad?
The thing that's weird about this game though is like it's not well written. The voice acting's not good. It doesn't look particularly great, but for some reason it's like really fun to play. Like it is like the Taco Bell of video games. Like it's like it sounds really appealing, and while you're eating it, you're like having a great time, and then when it's over, you're like, oh Jesus.
The crazy thing about that is Taco Bell is already the Taco Bell of video games. So this even just goes beyond that.
Sure. But like it's funny because like the UI design is like pretty good. The leveling system is pretty good.
That does kind of look like the human embodiment of a Baja Blast.
Yeah. Hang on, I gotta write that down. The human embodiment.
I got you.
Of a Baja Blast. Okay. The leveling's pretty good. There's actually a ton of classes in the game. I thought it was just gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, warrior, mage, and like a couple others. No, they've got freaking dragoon, samurai, white mage, black mage, red mage. Like, think of any Final Fantasy class.
Fighter,
probably thief, dragoon,
ninja,
monk, ninja. It's all in here. And they're all
here.
Huh?
Mime?
I don't know if that's in there.
Blue mage?
I haven't. So I thought there was blue mage, but I haven't seen it yet. There could be one, but I'm not aware of it.
Astrologer?
But it's
or what was it? Calculator?
Astrologian or whatever.
Yeah.
Calculator.
I mean, that's from FFT.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a thing?
The calculator is basically what they do is they have like a bunch of things that you like if thens that you can put together, and you unlock those by like leveling up and like unlocking those specific things. It's like multiples of 2, multiples of 3, multiples of 5, and then it's like height, level, like different things. And so you can be like, if their level is a multiple of 2, cast lightning on them and stuff like that. So it's like you set up the formulas, and then like if you do it right, like if you study the field, like you can literally do an attack on everyone on the map, if you're like clever about it. It's a really interesting class in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That being said, there's a ton of classes, and you can have like 2 of them equipped at any given moment, and you can literally like mid combo switch classes. So you could be like you could be a samurai fighting with a katana, and then you can literally hit triangle and it will switch to your other, like you have a separate loadout basically that you manage, and it just swaps over, and it could be like a black mage. And like all your gear and everything goes bloop, and then you have like your black mage stuff, which is actually kind of neat. And on top of that too, as you level up the classes, you unlock different combo abilities with them. And then when you're doing your, like, I don't know, character sheet, I don't know what to call it. Like there are slots for each of the combos. So you can be like, okay, I want to put in this samurai ability. Like I'm playing samurai. I want to put in this ability when I do R1, R1, R2, and it'll do this specific thing. And then when I'm on black mage, when I hold R2 or R1, I want it to do this specific thing. And you like unlock a bunch of things, and you can really like tweak all that stuff, which is kind of neat. I find all that really cool. And then also like just being able to play the game co-op, like drop in and drop out at will, is pretty good. You can just play with your friends and hit
Online
monsters
or just
and have a good
local?
time. Online.
Okay.
I don't actually know if it has local. I don't think it has any local, but I've been playing online with a friend of mine, and I mean we've been having fun, but at the same time it's like it's such a strange game, because it's like, is it good? It's like like it's hard to say. Like
It's like a good bad movie.
It's not great, kind of like, but it's not objectively bad, because it is kind of fun to play.
I feel like you're describing the Hellboy remake with the guy from Stranger Things.
I didn't watch that.
No,
This is how that good.
This is how I felt about it.
Okay, but yeah, it's
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But this movie. God, see what you done.
Sorry.
See what you did to me.
It is one of those things where I'm like, if you have a clear choice and you're like, I want to play this or Elden Ring, I'm gonna tell 99% of people probably just go buy Elden Ring. Unless you are just not a Souls person, then I'll be like, well, you can play the hack and slash, thing with the dumb characters and the bad story. That's really fun to play.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where it's like it came out right next to like this thing that we're going to be talking about for years to come. We're not going to be talking about this game for years to come, to be honest. But I will say, if you're like interested at all and you have friends who want to play it, you'll probably have a good time. Like,
I thought you were just gonna leave it at that. If you're interested at all, and if you have friends,
I'm out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, I don't know that I would recommend anyone play this game by themselves, to be honest, because I mean, it is interesting because I did play it a little bit by myself, and it felt harder. Like it felt more like I had to pay attention, and like I had to actually parry the enemy stuff when they were coming at me, and like block and actually be like smart. But when I'm playing with other people, for some reason, I'm just like charging in, and we're just like hitting everything. So it's like, who cares? Like,
but not only
it's
that,
a lot easier.
Like given the way that it is written, it just seems like the type of thing that would be more fun to experience with someone. Like,
yeah, because you can both laugh at it.
Yeah, like I feel like playing it by
three of you can
yourself,
laugh at it.
you'd just be like you'd almost feel weird about it. Like,
Yeah,
I should be doing something else.
I sincerely doubt that anyone is playing this game for the story, because it's not
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be like a reimagining of Final Fantasy 1, but it doesn't seem to have any of the trappings of Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
like
the world
some of the
seems,
enemies
like,
look vaguely
wildly different.
It's wildly different. Like the enemies are based off of like the FF1 enemies. Like when you see the goblins, they look like the goblins from Final Fantasy 1, which is kind of neat. But like nothing else seems based on Final Fantasy 1. It all kind of just seems like a bunch of stuff, and it's like everything's kind of out of place and a little weird. It is very strange.
That's a big reason why, like, just
Yeah.
real talk, as somebody who played and beat Final Fantasy 1 and like enjoyed it, that's part of the big that's a big part of the reason why like I haven't been interested in it, because it really just seems like kind of a bastardization of the original game, because it's doing the thing that Final Fantasy 15 did, which is like, hey, let's make people look modern. Let's make it look like it happens now, when Final Fantasy 1 is like firmly entrenched in the high fantasy like realm. And
Sure.
like that just doesn't make any sense. And that combined with the fact that like Garland in the original game, like I'm pretty sure he spoke in like Old English and stuff. Like he was a very like proper knight, and the idea was that this guy is like a fallen knight. And the fact that this game is like presumably an origin story for him, like, you know, it's kind of like what if the Star Wars prequels, except instead of him being like a big crybaby, you made him a fucking asshole.
And then you're like, well, I don't care.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
it's like
tragedy here. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I want to see how Garland became Garland. It's like nobody cares
But
about
it's
that,
like
because
not. It's
FF1 is
yeah.
about Garland becoming something else.
Yeah. But it's like, it's funny because it's not even really, it doesn't even feel like it's really trying to do that. It's just like, let's take just the vague concept of Final Fantasy 1 and like, you know, that there are 4 warriors of light and we're all gonna like
But if
go
it's
kill the big
not
bad
trying
one.
to do that, then what the fuck is the point of this game?
I don't know, dude. But I will tell you it's
Like-
fun. It's fun and dumb.
Yeah, I just don't. If that's not what they're trying, if that's what they're trying to do, this seems like the worst possible way to go about that, which I'm assuming is where a lot of the comedy is coming from. If they're not trying to do that, why does this game exist? Like, and that's kind of the conundrum that I'm in. Is like,
Yeah.
if they're trying to actually tell a good story about Garland's origin, this seems horrendous.
Mhm.
And if they're not trying to tell an origin, why is that what they're telling us that they're trying to do?
Right.
I just
It has a 72 on Metacritic with a user score of 6.4, which I would actually agree with. I think this is like the most B tier title that has probably come out in a long time. But sometimes it's fun to just play something that's just like kind
you
of
love
whatever,
a good double
right?
A kind of experience.
I
Yeah.
love the Bertucci's of video games, or like the Olive Garden of video games. Like sometimes you need that to
You
like
need that perspective.
Yeah, you need the perspective of like, this is how good you have it. All right.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can go to the fancy Italian place down the road that's like mom and pop shop, but every now and then you got to go somewhere else where it's like they don't have that in Kansas. Like all they've got's the Olive Garden.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
El
Be
Dano
grateful
Ringo.
for what you've got.
You Philly boys, you know, you're living high on your Last of Us 2s.
That's right.
Out here in Natick, all we've got is fucking Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's what we got.
It's
Stay
Put out your
humble.
Sunday best, kids. We're going to Walmart.
I don't know what else to say about it other than if you are at all interested and you have friends who you're going to play it with, then absolutely you will have a great time just laughing at it. If you're just kind of interested and you're going to play by yourself, like play the demo or wait for a sale or something.
I'm really glad they put that demo out.
Yeah.
So that people can actually like dip into it and be like, hey.
More games should
I
have
think they
demos.
knew they had to, like, given that if the gameplay is fun and if Final Fantasy fans are like even mildly interested in it, but the trailers look stupid, like too stupid, like you almost have to have a demo to have them be like, yeah, but I tried it, and like I kind of
It's
want to see
fun.
what this game's
That's how
about.
I felt. It was like when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, this looks really stupid. And then when I played it co-op, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. And like, there's cool stuff in here. Like,
Yeah.
one of the first levels you go to is literally a dungeon in Final Fantasy 14, like in aesthetic and in like the enemies are the same. And we were playing it and we're like, why does this feel like Sastasha? Which is the name of like, it's like one of the first dungeons you ever do in Final Fantasy 14. We're like, man, this really feels like fucking Sastasha. It's crazy. And then we found some little lore thing that was like, this place was constructed from the 14th dimension and stuff. We're like, it's literally Sastasha from Final Fantasy 14. And there's tons of stuff like that. Like I think there's an area later on that's like ripped right out of FF13 where you like turn rain on and off to like make paths open up and stuff. So there's like a bunch of weird like we just
The
build areas based
multi-dimension
on
stuff.
yeah, but I'm like very curious where it's gonna go because this game could go anywhere. I'm like 6-7 hours in. I still have no idea why they want to kill Chaos. Not a clue. We're just doing it, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're going.
Whatever you say,
Well,
kids.
It's also weird because like if you played the Dissidia games or like not if you played Final Fantasy 1. But like if you played the Dissidia games or like other games where Chaos is there, you understand that like Chaos is like an elemental force. Like you can't get rid of it. It's just always going to exist.
I bet that'll be something in the game because like
Yeah.
literally if you played the demo, this isn't much of a spoiler because the first boss you literally go kill, they're like, it's Chaos, and then you kill them and you're like, wait a minute. Like that wasn't actually Chaos. Like it was a different person who like took on their thing, their mantle or whatever. So it's like I'm going to assume that at the end they're like, we could never kill Chaos, and then they just jump off a bridge or something.
They're always there always has to be
always has to be
part
Chaos.
Of the crew. There has to be a captain.
Yeah.
Or else there's no one to hold the chest. Yeah.
What a
Either
terrible
way.
ending to what could have been a great trilogy.
Are you talking about Pirates of the Caribbean?
I
am
thought it was
talking
all
about
right.
Pirates of the
I thought it was all
Caribbean.
right.
Remember when Tia Dalma grew like the size of the boat?
Yeah, that was
tall.
And then turned into a bunch of crabs.
That was
still can't
dumb.
believe. I still can't. Like you saw it. So this is a ridiculous thing to drill down on. I can't believe she would have cracked that ship in half with how heavy she was. But she did still crack the wood around the mainmast.
Yes.
Which definitely would have been a huge problem for them.
Nope.
Like,
and they still just managed to sail it through a whirlpool.
Like what? What? That's not how that works.
That's not how any of this works.
Anyway.
Either
I
way.
think Tia Dalma's great.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean Catch the Fever.
Stranger of Paradise. I can't give it a Catch the Fever award, but I also can't give it a like totally avoid it award. Like I think if you really want to play it, then you should. If you don't have any interest, if you're like Brian, then just avoid it.
Yeah.
There is almost literally no universe in which I play this game. But
yeah, but the funny thing is you might have a good time yelling at it or like
I might.
If you played it with two other people who didn't know, like who were discovering it along with you, I think you would have a good time. But because you knew it wasn't that great, it's such a weird. It's such a like. It's not. We often get a lot of.
I'll put it this way. Put it this way. If it ever goes on Game Pass or PS Plus or Games with Gold,
probably will. Let's be honest.
Or Epic Games giveaway or something like that, I'll dip in for a little bit with some people, and we'll see. Chris or something. Maybe we'll dip in and just be like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
it seems like the type of game that Jess and I would get a kick out of. Like that,
she might. Like she's a big Final Fantasy fan.
Like the level of like Bill and Ted's stupidity of it.
Don't besmirch that. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, my final thought would be like, it's not every day we get a great game. And it's a lot of days we get really bad games. It's not every day though we get something that is truly good bad.
Yeah. It's not. There are not many.
That is
There
hard to
aren't.
achieve.
And I've really, of the past couple, maybe 5 years, there have been 2 that stick out immediately.
What are they
And
two?
you should know what they are.
I don't.
It's Nickelodeon Kart Racers Grand Prix 2
Okay. Yeah.
and Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl.
Both Nickelodeon. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both good bad games.
Speaking of which, did we talk about this? Are you excited about Multiverses?
We have not talked about this, and I am not
Yeah.
excited
What
for
are your thoughts on
Multiverses.
You're not
Okay.
excited?
I'm not. I'll play it because I like the
I'll buy it
idea.
day one, but I'm not excited.
Well, no, it's free to play.
Oh,
I mean,
is it?
Gandalf
Okay.
versus
Yeah.
Batman versus Shaggy.
Yeah, like,
that just seems interesting.
It
to me.
seems interesting. I don't
It
know.
looks good. It looks better than the Nickelodeon game.
I feel like we're entering an era of this like character brawler thing where all of a sudden all these people are going to be like, we could make one of those. Like, where the hell were you? You know, for the last 20 years when Smash
When we
Brothers
needed
first
you.
came out. Yeah, like
Where were you when we needed you?
we've gotten
when
like
Nintendo was
most.
running this into the ground.
2 of the like Brawlhalla is the thing which like they keep making people must play it because they keep making content for it. I don't understand. There's like 1,000 characters in that game. There was a Ninja Turtle beat 'em up on the Wii that was that way, and then there's a couple like Cartoon Network games that they've made.
There's
over
one
the
coming
years.
too.
One what?
The Ninja Turtles game.
A
There's one
fighting
coming.
game?
Yeah. Yeah, they said April O'Neil's gonna be in it.
No,
Well,
that's
I mean,
in.
there's that one from the SNES that's getting re-released in that bundle, right?
In the Cowabunga collection. I'm talking about the other one. Is that
Cowabunga.
out yet?
No,
It's not out yet?
April O'Neil is in Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl.
Oh, really? Is Shredder and
Yeah.
Splinter and all them?
Oh,
Maybe that's the one I was thinking of.
I don't know. If there's another one, that's the first I've heard of it.
Or maybe
But-
maybe it was that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, like there's, I don't know. I feel like, and I think I've talked about this before I had this conversation this weekend. We're getting into this weird space where, again, I don't know if it's that I'm getting older and all that. I feel like the imagination
I mean, you definitely are.
is starting. Well, yeah, but I don't know if the imagination is starting to get tapped out. Where it's like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. What do you do after that game? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which we have 8 new tracks. They're all remakes of previous tracks, and I just found out that they're apparently not doing any brand new ones. They're only doing like revamps of previously released courses.
Nintendo stay resting on their laurels.
I mean, but
Mhm.
what's weird is like they're running like what more do you do? Like there's not much more for you to re-release. Like that game came out almost 8 years ago and is going to have 96 tracks by the time this is all said and done.
Yeah.
The GTA 5 of Nintendo.
But
But
then it's
also
like
what do you do after that? Yeah.
right. Like what do you do after that? And it's not that I think Mario Kart 8 is a bad game. I still play it like regularly, but I don't know of many other games that I have like played this consistently for this long that are still getting content. Like, yeah, there's like WoW and like shit like that, but I'm just talking like things on this is unprecedented for Nintendo to ever do something like this. And even if they were to come out with Mario Kart 9, like, what do you do? Other than like
I know what I would want them to do, but
Double Dash 2.
Yeah, I would want them to add more. Like I would want them to, and I mean, I honestly, this is the same thing that I would want them to do for Smash. Honestly, is prune it down to a manageable level and then make it really different. Like Guilty Gear or BlazBlue this game, where it's like Guilty Gear Xrd was a super technical, super expansive game with a ton of characters. Guilty Gear Strive launches with a very small roster of characters. Everybody is wildly different from each other.
Yeah.
And they all do like, systems are like simplified but kind of expanded in how you can use them. Like do that. Like tweak the items, make the character choice really important. Like in Double Dash, it was important what character you pick because you could get a unique item for them. Like that's the thing that I want from Double Dash that we don't have is like your character selection doesn't really matter, which there's
That's
a
not
good
true.
thing to that. I'm gonna get to it.
I know.
There's like your character selection determines your weight class, which like then you pair that up with like your cart, your wheels, all that sort of stuff to like determine how your car feels to drive. But there's no real substantial difference between playing Donkey Kong or Bowser or Dry Bowser, like aside from like minuscule weight differences between them.
Yeah.
Like there's no real difference. So like if you like I would want that choice to be more meaningful. Like if I want to play this character, I want to have some advantage from that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that Double Dash did that I think was so cool. That like I like now like it doesn't matter like if you pick Koopa Troopa or you pick Mario or you pick Luigi or you pick the princess, like there's no difference. Like it's just a palette swap. And I always think that having more substantial differences is better than having like these things. And like a lot of people have been like, oh well, what can they do about, you know, well, you can already go upside down and anti-gravity and all this sort of stuff in Mario Kart 8. Well, think about a different gimmick. Like do
they need
warps or something. Like
they need a different shtick for sure. And and the one that I keep thinking of is like, why don't they just do either like the Diddy Kong Racing thing or the Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform thing, where it's like
I think that would be cool, like the Sonic Transform thing.
Yeah, because that was a cool mechanic in that game. It's just that game never really felt right to me. But I mean,
because it's Sonic.
No, I know. I mean, some people, if Sonic's gonna go fast, he better be on his fucking legs. But no, I mean,
that's like Flash driving a car.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Flashmobile. It's like, what, dude? What are you doing? You'd be faster if you got out.
Yeah.
There used to be these knockoff toys that I would see at like the cheap grocery stores around us, where it'd be like Spider-Man, but he's on a horse, and you're like, why?
Yeah. What is happening? Yeah. What is the context for this? I don't know. I've been thinking about that game a lot lately. And I've been trying to like convince myself that I like Mario Kart Tour, even though I know I don't. So instead, I actually started playing Mario Kart Wii a little bit this weekend, and I forgot how good that game actually is. Like playing with a controller and everything, because for the longest time,
I think that still has the best motorcycles in the series.
Well, yeah, the way that the motorcycles handle in that game is like, but what sucks is that game favors you using a motorcycle. Like because like if you pop a wheelie in that game, you do get a speed boost. Like you don't get anything like that if you're in a car. So like, why would you use one? It gets a huge disadvantage. I don't know. I've been feeling more and more lately like I'm worried about, and I know I've talked about this before, about not the future of Nintendo, but like what is going to be the next thing. Because I keep finding myself going back to these old games that I've been playing for literally 2 decades in some cases or more. And I like the idea of going in, and it is this like, it's not just the simplicity, but it's like, it's that thing we always talk about where it's not asking so much of me. And I go into Horizon and I'm just like, I feel like I finished work and now I'm back at work because I'm given all these tasks that I have to complete, and they're not particularly fun, and I'm doing things for other people, and like I can't just exist in this world like the way that I would in like Breath of the Wild or something like that.
So it sounds like you want less hand holding.
Yeah, I guess.
Not even
no,
that,
I don't even know if it's that.
Because I'm with you. A lot of games do feel like jobs, but then a lot of other games. But a lot of other games, like I would say, they just kind of they make you do stuff that you don't really want to do.
Yeah.
Which is what I've heard a lot of people complain about, like the current state of like WoW, and it's one of the reasons I burned out on Destiny is like they make you do all this crap that I just was like, I don't want to do this. I want to do other stuff that I want to do, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's that's why I've been so. That's one of the reasons that like I haven't minded having to restart for a different save or a different character in Elden Ring, because like it's been ages since there's been a world I've had this much fun just being in. Like, and
Yeah, like
that's,
hearing you and I mean honestly, like the litany of everyone on the internet and it's everyone that's playing it. Really, I there aren't many people that I've come in contact with that have been like, I played it and it wasn't for me. I think
there are a few.
I think there's a good chance that I will be one of those people. And I will play that game someday. I don't know when that will be. I don't want to spend $60 on it, quite frankly, because I've spent $60 on so many of these games and I've ended up not liking them. And I'm just tired of doing that, quite honestly. And it's not like I don't have other games I can play right now. But yeah, like I miss having a game to look forward to, and I just haven't had that in a while.
I think you need a break.
Well, and we've said this, for a while, and there was a hot minute where I was back in on like Black Mesa. Was like I was into that. I finished that. I don't know. I think maybe redoing The Office is going to be good for me, but there's
The Office has a video game.
What? Michael Scott. Like
I mean, I'll tell you, like I would. I don't necessarily need to say this on the show, but like I'll subsidize your purchase if you want to jump in.
No, I'm
like,
not gonna.
I'd be happy to do that.
No, I don't want to.
And I'll be your
Sherpa,
people. My dude. I'll be your Sherpa.
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of Brian. I'm like, you need to just take a step away and do something else.
Yeah.
I think, like it. I know there's all this like, especially in the industry.
Go learn to crochet.
There's all this like. Yeah, you can ask Nicole. She crochets.
Yeah.
There's all this like pressure all the time, like from people when like in our industry to always be like, I have to be up on this conversation. I have to be doing this. I have to be doing that. Like,
I will.
It's bad. Like it's if you're someone who, especially if you're in the press, it's actively bad for you, and for your job sometimes to be like, oh, I literally just play Call of Duty and Madden.
Yeah,
maybe not, because those are good, like big
games.
But
but I get what you mean. I mean, I'm in that situation. It happened this weekend where, and I didn't even. It was an oversight on my part. There was like an image that was made that was about Elden Ring that I thought had gone up, and I didn't even think twice about it. And it wasn't a big deal, but my boss messaged me. He was like, "Hey, can you put this up? It hasn't gone up yet." And I was like, "Oh, geez, okay." And in my mind, like I was just overthinking it. But in my mind, I'm like, I know I saw that, and I immediately just went, I don't care. Like, it's Elden Ring, I don't care. And I moved on from it. Like, not thinking, like, oh, this has to go up or whatever the case may be. Like, because I'm so exhausted by everyone telling me how... And it's not even just like, oh, well, get off Twitter. It's like all of my friends. It's... Everyone that I come in contact with that plays video games has been like, oh, but did you, like, people at work that I don't even know play video games are like, I got Elden Ring. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm at the point where I feel like even if I were to play this game, like, it's almost easier for me to not play it and just deal with, like, not being involved in the conversation.
It's easier to not do something than to do something.
Well, no. But it's easier for me to not play it and to not have an opinion of it and just be like, historically, I have not liked Souls games, and therefore I do not want to play this game. Than for me to play it and then have to get in an argument with every single person that I come in contact with when I tell them why I don't like this game.
Well, that's why I would say if you don't want to do something, just don't do it.
No, I know. It's just...
And I get, like, some people, like, there's always those... I try not to be one of these people. Like
I do as well. I know where you're going.
Be like an example, like famous movie number A, right? And they're like, you haven't seen that? Like, I hate when people do that shit to me.
Yeah.
Even if it is something that I do want to see at some point, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But like, it's not I don't know. It's a weird attitude to have. Like, just let people like do stuff. Now, I would say that to someone who, if it was like Brian and he had played all the Souls games and then for some reason had not played Elden Ring, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you should be doing that. Like,
Right.
that's in your wheelhouse, right?
Well,
But-
you?
And I put up
But-
a tweet earlier because I'm going to be on a flight. I was like, what game should I play on Switch? Because there are 4 games that I feel like are in my wheelhouse that I either haven't finished or I haven't played. And I was
What's the list? Because I don't think I saw this.
I think you commented on it. Oh no, you commented on a different thing. Hollow Knight.
Okay.
I put Shovel Knight, but it's really the King of Cards. I never finished it.
Okay.
Same with Spectre Torment. I didn't finish that.
Okay.
Hyper Light Drifter
Okay.
and Flint Hook.
I have not played Flint Hook, but I have played the rest.
yeah.
I think the best game out of all of those is either Hollow Knight or Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah.
But they're both pretty tough.
I will say,
if you're game for that, then go for it. King of Cards isn't necessarily a slouch either. The way that he moves around the world, some of those puzzles are like kind of obnoxious.
yeah. I mean, it's like
platforming sections and
It's
stuff.
almost like a WarioWare game, isn't it? At least from what I remember of when I played it.
I mean, I haven't played WarioWare.
Or not
so I don't
WarioWare,
know.
but Wario Land.
Like just the way he moves around the world.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah. Like just like that tanky kind of character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Hollow Knight seems like one of those games, Josh, where when I tell people I haven't played it, they're like, "What do you mean? Like it's amazing, Silk Song, fuck you!" Like they get so upset that I haven't played it.
I think it would only be people that don't know you because that game is hard.
Yeah,
Like it's very good, and it's only hard in like a 2D way, which is different from like the way that Souls is hard in 3D.
I feel like I can deal with hard in a 2D way better
and
than
some
I can
people,
in a 3D.
some people can, yeah.
Like the original Shovel Knight has sections of it that are difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man, like I could do this all day, but
Yeah.
I
mean, I would say I'll say this. If you're thinking about when you come back potentially playing Elden Ring, I'd get warmed up in Hollow Knight.
that was kind of my thought. Was like, give myself time to play this. If I really get into it, Kirby's gonna come out. Jess is gonna kidnap the Switch. I can play it on the light, and then that be that. And then maybe by May, Elden Ring will be $20 off somewhere, and then I can pick it up.
Those games go the FromSoft games go on sale fairly often.
Yeah, and that was.
I definitely got Dark Souls 3 for like $20 or $30.
Yeah, I'm trying to not buy games at $60 anymore if I can help it. Like I'm really upset that I bought Horizon at full price. I mean, I bought the PS4 one, but like that's
So
that's
you
a
didn't
game.
buy it at full price.
Yeah, well, like that's a game I'm like never gonna. I know I'm never gonna beat it. Like every time I turn it on, I'm just like fuck. Like I don't want to play this.
I just wouldn't turn it on anymore.
I'm not going
Trade it in.
to, but I do
Trade it
that.
in and get credit for Elden Ring.
I do that for so many games anymore. I actually another one I wanted to bring up, and then I'll be done. You haven't said anything about Tunic, which came out this week. Have you played it at all, or no?
I didn't even know that came out.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah.
Even better.
If that was
I'll
on Switch,
install it
that's
right
what I
after
would
this.
be playing, but it's not. And if I had a Steam Deck, that's what I would be playing, but I don't.
Yeah, I played and I talked about this on the show. I played a preview build of it back in the day.
I know you had
and-
problems with it the last time a demo came around.
Yeah, I think I've played 2 builds of it, 2 separate builds, but they seemed extremely similar. This is one of the games that was at the ID at Xbox event. That
was like 2018, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the build that went wide that most people were able to play. I think it was it open beta or closed beta? I forget what it was.
It was open. It was like the Steam demo thing.
Yeah. And then I played that, and it's just the same section that I played previous.
Okay.
And the big thing, and I've talked about this in other Discords and stuff, but a big thing about Tunic is I had fun with it. It wasn't super polished, and it didn't feel. It was like, I hope that they really bridge this gap and make this feel and run on PC as polished as it looks. because excuse me, because it always looked really impressive graphically.
Yeah.
Like and the style and the visual design is like really really great, like immaculate almost. But it just didn't run that well on PC, and it didn't it didn't seem to be very well optimized. I don't know if that's because they had Xbox as their lead platform or what. I don't know what the deal was, but it didn't feel that great. And then, and this is the big one, Death's Door came out, and that is the same game, but way more polished with a way more poignant story. And like it's just better in basically every way.
Wow.
And it just, to me, I don't need that. What Tunic is doing, like we already have a George.
Yeah.
Like I played Death's Door. That did the thing that I wanted Tunic to do, and it did it better than what I played of Tunic. So I'm not really interested in Tunic anymore, to be honest.
Fair enough.
I did download it on my Series X because it is on Game Pass. I have not dived in. There are a couple of other games that also hit Game Pass recently that I'm interested in, and I figured that I would just dip in and just kind of see, but I'm not really anticipating Tunic to grab me. Although I will say some people have said that Tunic is kind of giving them, I think Odell said this actually, that like Tunic is giving them the stuff that they kind of wanted from Elden Ring, even though they didn't vibe with Elden Ring.
And that's, I could see myself landing there, and I'm almost tempted because the way I think McCaffrey, he at least did the video review of it for IGN, or narrated it at least. I'm not sure if he did the written review, but what he said.
Yeah, what did he say about it?
He said it was a Zelda game for the Elden Ring generation. So it is like, what if you made a Zelda game, but it had like the DNA of Elden Ring within it?
I don't see how that's substantially different than Death's Door, but I don't know. Because like a lot of people compare Death's Door to Souls games, but it's not. It's a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And Tunic is definitely the same thing. It's isometric.
Yeah.
Like
top down.
Death's Door and Tunic are cut from the same cloth as Zelda.
Yeah.
And
honestly, those are two games that like I've had like my eye on, along with the ones that I have on this list. And I have
Death's Door is fantastic.
Well, and that's what everyone says. And like I already have access to all these. So I'm like, why would I don't need to buy Elden Ring. But for some reason, like the internet makes me feel like I do. And you make me feel like I do.
You don't need to.
I mean, I will tell you, Elden Ring does a lot of things that those games do not do.
Yeah, but Elden Ring is also 200 hours or whatever you said you put into it. Like,
well, you can beat it in half an hour, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But also, you have to remember he's doing a guide, so any time that he's putting into it is going to be like doubled or tripled.
Nah, but
I'm also going through and like trying to do everything, which is not at all how you need to do this.
I'm also going to say that based on your experience with Horizon and you being mad that you spent $60 and didn't like it, I wouldn't turn around and
why
be
would
like,
I do
let
it
me
again?
throw $60 at something else, and
Right.
see if I like it. I wouldn't do that. I would wait and just
I have enough in the backlog that I can be like, all right,
play what's going to bring you joy in that moment. Like
Exactly.
I'm the kind of person that like if I open a new book, if that book doesn't speak to me in like 20 pages, then I'm just not going to read it.
Is there not a demo for Elden Ring?
Why waste my time? I don't know.
A
Has there ever
demo?
been a demo for the Souls games?
There was a trial before Elden Ring came out. Oh, my leg show up tomorrow.
Is there there's a way to like play a game, like to pass your controller to somebody, right? On something?
What is that? Play and share?
You can
or
like
something?
stream,
share play?
share play, play share.
Yeah, share play.
Play
Share.
I mean, we could do we could do something like that, or like I could stream it just for you, and you could be like, okay, go over here, like do this sort of thing, and just give you an idea of like what it is, and
Maybe
see if
that's
that vibes with you.
maybe that's what we do.
Let's do that. Let's just take an hour one of these nights and just be like, I'll just stream to you on Discord. We'll just hang out and I'll just be like, all right, where do you want me to go?
Well, no, share play. I can play on your PS5.
Then he can play.
Oh, if we can do that, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll just, hey, I'll give you a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
You'll be like a concierge.
Because then even like then you'll be able to make an educated decision.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't want to, I'm not.
No,
trying to be a drug pusher.
No. I know you're not. It's just.
But I will say.
I'm just. How many? I would love to know
why a lot of people who don't like Souls games adore this game.
I would love to know how many times on this show we have had a conversation of you trying to convince me to play a fucking Souls game, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll do it. I've got Neo. I've got Demon Souls. I've got Dark Souls 1 and 3 on PC. I have Bloodborne. I've tried them all.
How many of those have you actually played with me, though?
None. Why should that make a difference, though?
It makes a huge difference, because when you get frustrated, you're just like, it's impossible. I don't know what to do. And I could be like, try this. Problem fucking
What am I going to do that
solved.
for 60 hours?
Dude, I'll do it. Like this is
I don't know.
I think you need to take a break, but do this. Do the share play thing, but also like don't feel pressured to play shit that people are trying to get you to play.
Mom Chump says it sounds like a drug deal going down. Ask Brian if he's a cop. He has to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not a cop.
Come on, man. Just one line.
Cop.
Hey, you don't take a taste. That makes guys like me nervous.
Yeah.
I am going to get on this plane on Thursday. I'm going to turn on Hollow Knight.
You probably know what day you're getting on this
Thursday.
plane.
Oh, I was gonna suggest you don't play any video games at all.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna play it on Switch on the plane.
I guess on the plane.
Yeah,
get the plane. But if I fucking hear about you playing, Hollow Knight when you're supposed to be doing New Orleans shit.
No, I'm not gonna be.
I'm gonna be furious.
I'm not gonna be in this Airbnb at all unless I'm sleeping. And even that, like,
unless you're like,
they're gonna find me.
I couldn't sleep one night. I booted up Tetris 99 or something. I'm like, all right, you get a pass. If it's like, oh yeah, it was 1 p.m. on Sunday, and we were supposed to go eat some, Gabagool or whatever the fuck, and we didn't. I just sat here and played
Gabagool in New Orleans.
I couldn't think of a
gumbo.
New Orleans dish. Gumbo. There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Supposed to go eat some cool, good ass gumbo, but I'm sitting here playing fucking
good ass Gabagool.
You don't want to get a pie? You don't want to go halvesies on a pie?
I actually last night we were looking at different restaurants in New Orleans, and I actually Googled what is Nick Cage's favorite restaurant.
Oh yeah, did you get a result?
I did. He has like 2 places that he's like, you have to go there. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. In an interview, I was like, and then I looked at the menu and I sent it to Jess. She was like, I was like, all right, fine. You just let our boy Nicky Cage down.
I went here every day.
Yeah, what if you run into him?
Eat lunch while I was filming Color from Outer Space.
I'm telling you, dude, if he crashes this wedding that we're at, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Tell him that I'm looking forward to Renfield if you see him.
Yeah, my co-host is so excited.
Yeah, and tell him that.
By the way, thank you for Face Off.
He's gonna be.
I was about to say, and tell him also that that I hope he gets a chance to play Egghead, and we talk very fondly about Face Off and Con Air on our show.
Yes.
So
he's gonna be disappointed though if you don't go to that restaurant. I'll be like, "Did you go there?" And you'll be like, "No," and then he'll be like, "Raw!" Like he'll do that,
and
thing,
and then he'll just bite my neck. He thinks he's still in character.
The bees.
Don't watch that version of The Wicker Man, by the way. Watch the original one. It's freaking great.
Yeah, his is really bad.
They massacred my boy when they made that movie. Anyway,
Nick Cage, catch the fever.
What an episode.
Play Elden Ring. Play Elden Ring and play it on PC and hit me up because I started over a new character because I think I messed something up that I got right on PS5. So I'm starting over a new character, and I'm gonna 100% this game. I'm telling you.
Oh,
All right.
by the way, one last thing.
Yep.
Mario Tennis Aces is one of the best local multiplayer games on Switch, period.
I thought you said that game sucked.
That game single player sucks. There were like 8 of us in my living room on Saturday night, and we were just passing controllers around with that game. Dude, that game
what's funny?
Fucking rules.
I own
Local
that game,
multiplayer.
and I've only played it once, and it was at a party, and like we had fun.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, oh, I keep hearing people say this is bad, but it's pretty fun. But
No.
I haven't played it since then. But
Yeah.
like,
The
I
gameplay,
think like in the single player is kind of nonsense, but
the single player is ridiculous. It's really bad. But like the actual gameplay of it, it's a shame the online is so bad because I would probably play it more often. It's just like really
gotta
choppy.
fix that netcode problem they have.
It's getting better in their newer titles. It's just their older ones are not great, and they're not going back and fixing them. But yeah, that game's super fun local. Like it feels really, really good. We were playing Mario Tennis 64 at first, and then James was like, "Let's hop over to the new one," because he hadn't played it yet. And man, we played it for like 3 hours. It was great.
Nintendo needs to hop over to Arc System Works' office and be like, yo, how do you get this rollback going?
Nintendo needs to figure out what a network switch is first, and then they can go to Arc System Works.
They need to be like, yo, how did you do that Guilty Gear Strive netcode? Because we could use that in Smash Brothers.
They need to get some monitoring and alerting on their Wii and 3DS eShop, or no, DSiWare shops. They were down all weekend, and I think they still are. And they just like, they're like, yeah,
they're like whatever.
Nobody uses that thing anyway.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Shall we?
Wild.
We shall.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, people of all kinds, non-binary testament-like peoples, thank you for joining us for
What a
episode
callback.
224. Yeah, all the way to the beginning.
Yeah.
All the way to the top.
It's all a cycle.
The
Just
circle
circles.
of life.
It's a cycle of samsara.
It's a wheel of fortune.
The wheel of samsara.
It's a leap I fail.
Did you see when I was talking about Elden Ring, when I tweeted about Elden Ring, and I said it's been a really long time since I've gotten lost in a world, and I got quote tweeted by a bot that anytime anybody says it's been, it puts like a gif of a part of the lyrics to the Bare Naked Ladies.
That's great.
That was awesome. That was a really weird moment. But
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
But yeah, it's been episode 224 of the Platformers, and we thank you all for joining us for this. If you have any thoughts or topics, ideas of stuff you want us to talk about, you can hit us up in Twitch chat at twitch.tv/theplatformerspod, where we record every episode of this show live at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time every Monday. You can also hit us up on social media on Twitter. You can find all of us at PlatformersPod on Twitter. And you can find me at Ribnax on Twitter and Instagram, RIBNAX. I try to respond to all of the people who tweet at me or DM me. So feel free if you're interested in talking about anything, really. I really like to talk about games and anything that I'm doing and being a dad and just life, all sorts of stuff. Whatever you want to do, just hit me up. Josh, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see the cool video essay stuff I'm doing, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic.
You can find me at Shrives93 as the show begins to wrap up. Why don't you do yourself a favor? Why don't you turn on your Nintendo Switch and go to the system settings? Maybe you check for software update and find that folders are now available. You can sort your games however you want. You can actually find the litany and myriad and gabagool of all the indie titles
The Gabagool.
that you've purchased over the years, and you can go, my God, I can sort and filter them however I see fit. That's what I did during half of this show. In case it looked like I wasn't listening, I was. I was just sorting shit because that's who I am, and that's what I do.
I really love that they
somebody's
do
gotta
this
do it.
because this makes it so easy for me to keep track of all the stuff that I'm reviewing. I can just be like reviews, guides in one folder.
That's actually smart.
I did that on PS4, and PS still doesn't have that shit.
I don't think they will.
PS5 sucks, guys. I'm telling you. The only way that it is better than the PS4 is in just the performance of the box. Everything else sucks.
Game base.
PS4 is one of my favorite consoles of all time.
Join my party chat. Go to Game Base.
Yeah. I have
Does that
been
make sense?
hating that since day one, where it's like, why isn't this tab just called social? No,
Yep.
it's called Game Base. So stupid.
Oh, and then there's a really good chance that if you're just trying to leave the voice chat, you're actually going to leave the entire group.
Yeah.
Because you have to go into it's so dumb. So dumb.
It is dumb.
God, what an unforced error the PS5 is. I'm so pissed off about it.
Still.
And this controller that people are out there saying this is the best controller ever made. This controller sucks shit. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It literally made
my
my
hands
like
cramp.
I'm 140 hours into Elden Ring, and it's really uncomfortable for me to keep playing on this thing. And I would play more PlayStation, but then I get stuck in this stupid, idiotic situation.
This is
where,
definitely
like,
going to get slowed down into a drunk rant.
I just want to be able to have options. Why can't I play with the DualShock 4 on PS5 games? Why not?
Money.
It's so stupid. There's nothing that the PS5 controller can do that the PS4 controller can't do, except for be like, oh, there's a rumble in these triggers. Who gives a fuck? Get out of here.
Anyway.
Go sort your Switch games.
You can find me on Twitter. And we archive the episodes of this show on YouTube at youtube.com/platformerspod. Please review our rants and ravings on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're at. I think Spotify has a review thing for podcasts now. I'm not actually sure. You should probably double check on that before I say it. But yeah,
1 star. Brian doesn't know what he's talking about.
But I do know. And if you have fun with the show, tell friends about it and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, from everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week out there and stay safe, because until next time, we are out.
Boy.
Gabagool.